I want you to know, Christy, that a little leak can do more damage than just leaving a spot in your driveway. And we're going to see which fluids to flush to save our seals. And we're all about saving seals here this morning, as you know. Brian Bowersox is here. Brian.
Good morning, Joe.
We have Tiffany, one of our producers.
Correct.
All right, on San Diego Living, brought her car in, and you're changing fluids.
We're actually flushing out the power steering on this car is what we're doing, which is a service that in the old days a lot of people never used to do. We didn't have the problems that we have with the closer calibration on bearings and seals and things like that on newer cars.
So we have to pay more attention to our power steering fluid.
Correct. And transmission fluid. Those are the two major flushable fluids. We're talking about power steering today. So what we did was we started out a little earlier and we actually sucked out the old fluid and put a conditioner and cleaner into her system that's running right now.
Oh, good. I want to see the old fluid. I want to see what Tiffany was driving on. Can we show that?
This is Tiffany's.
Look at that, Tiffany. Shame on you.
Fluid. You can see it's black and it's probably the original power steering fluid. It's gone 100,000 miles in this car.
Woo! Well, I shouldn't say shame on you. Good for you, Tiffany. You got the use out of this baby.
You got the use out of it.
100,000 miles. Okay, so now that's come out.
Correct.
All
and
right.
This will be the new fluid that's going in. You can see the difference, of course.
Very pretty.
Correct. Yeah, very clean fluid. The problem with the old fluid is often it gets contaminated with small fragments of metal. You have moving parts in the steering system, the power steering pump itself, which contaminate the fluid over time, which can cause wear to seals, slipper veins in the pump, and things like that.
All right. So by changing it, you don't have to now repair seals and have all kinds of problems.
It'll condition the seals if you keep the fluid clean, and you usually don't end up with any leaks. Is it a guarantee? Absolutely not. But it is good for the system. You can save power steering lines, pumps, things like that, rack seals, things like that, which can get quite expensive to replace.
If you have a leak, you notice in the driveway, you have a relatively new car, you've got to check some things out. Right? I mean, especially if it's relatively new, there's something else is a problem, I suppose.
Correct.
But if you have a car that you just need to keep regular maintenance, that's what we're talking about.
Regular maintenance, pretty much what we're talking about, to keep the fluid clean.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and suck out the conditioner, which we put in here that cleans the system, which is that small can there. Put in earlier. We're going to put new fluid into our system. We're using this little machine here. This isn't the one we use in the shop, but it's good for mobile kind of situations. So we got one tube that actually will suck the stuff out, and the other one puts new stuff in.
Oh, my. Now, the engine has to be running when you do this?
Yes, the engine has to be running.
If the engine is not running, where is the fluid?
Well, the fluid just sits in the reservoir. It doesn't keep recirculating, though.
Okay, so this is the way you get it all. It has to be
correct.
recirculated.
And what we're doing is basically sucking out the conditioner and then putting in new fluid.
At the same time, so it's not going to be dry at any time.
Correct. Okay. Correct. That way it keeps fluid in the system continuously.
How does it know which is the good stuff and which is the bad?
The pump. There's two different pumps on this to handle it. So one sucks out the bad stuff. The other one puts in the good stuff.
So the pump knows the difference.
Correct.
My. Okay, so
we're going to fill this up till we top it off.
Okay. Now that didn't take very long.
No,
but do I do this? Do I bring this to you, or can I do this at home?
Well,
because I can't suck this stuff.
No, you can't suck stuff out. It's pretty much service. Like I said, we have a machine that actually operates on shop air that does a really thorough job. But you have to put the conditioner in first to clean everything. Then you suck it out. Then you put in the new fluid.
Okay, so I'm not going to try this at home. Do not do this at home.
Do this at home.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Bring this to Brian.
That's right.
Let Escondido Automotive and Transmissions do it. All right. And then that's it. That's all there is to it?
That's all to the power steering flush. We did bring an example of transmission fluid has the same problem. There's a big machine that hooks to transmission cooler lines to flush those. We strongly recommend you replace the fluid and filter, or the filter and pan gasket first, then do a complete flush if the fluid starts.
At what point? How many miles do I have to do all this?
Well, it depends.
100,000?
Power steering usually around 30,000 miles, every 30,000 miles.
Okay.
So you get quite a bit of life out of it. Transmission, we recommend usually 15 to 20 on services, and then if you miss a service and the fluid gets dark, then it's time for a flush.
All right, worth the trip from anywhere. Go to West Escondido Automotive and Transmission. Just go to Brian's place, all right? We'll be right back on San Diego Living.